I'm Sam from Hey You Guys, and today we're going to be looking at Solo, a Star Wars story. If you haven't seen Solo yet, look away now and come back when you have. In this video, we'll be expanding on what we saw and speculating on where the latest installment in the Star Wars universe can go from here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your own theories or expand on ours in the comments below. Number 1. Who is Qi'ra and what has she been doing in the 3 years after being separated from Han? It would seem like quite a lot. We know she was taken back into Lady Proxima's gang on Corellia, we know that she is now in a big crime syndicate, and we know she has done unspeakable acts. So it's very likely that she worked her way up the organisation on Corellia and then went into the service of Crimson Dawn to get off world. Though she does seem conflicted, she was very quick to assume command of the syndicate, which means we haven't seen the last of the Crimson Dawn. Number 2. When does Solo fit in the Star Wars timeline? The timeline is a complicated one, but Solo fits in some years after the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, but before Rebels and Rogue One. Number 3. Who is Enfys Nest? Enfys Nest was created specifically for the film, so there isn't much to go on, but he was originally a male marauder and cloud pirate. When he died, his daughter took on the battle helmet and used his formidable reputation to help downtrodden planets. There's a high chance she kickstarts the Rebel Alliance, so we'll hopefully be seeing more of her. Number 4. Why are Han's dice so important? They keep popping up all over the place. They are the same ones that hung in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon in A New Hope, and the same ones that Luke took to Leia in The Last Jedi as a force projection. In Solo, they are passed back and forth between Han and Qi'ra. In the past, it was assumed they had been involved in how Han won the Millennium Falcon from Lando, but we now know he won it fair and square in a game of sabacc. So why are they so important? Well, they seem to hold obvious significance for Han, maybe of his first love or simply a token of luck. Number 5. What's so special about Coaxium? Coaxium is a hyperfuel which is very hard to come by. Not only is it great at making ships go really fast, but it also has a huge monetary value. Since it hasn't been mentioned in the rest of the films, I would guess it was included so that everyone had something to chase after. But it really doesn't make a huge amount of sense for it to be so sought after. After all, there are lots of ways to earn credits in the galaxy. Number 6. How is Han so good with the Falcon? The YT-1300 is a model of ship which is built on Corellia, and therefore it stands to reason that Han would have had some experience with them already, especially as his father was involved in building them. On top of this, Corellians are well known for being naturally gifted pilots. In the expanded universe, there are other amazing pilots who hail from Corellia, such as Wedge Antilles and the bounty hunter Dengar, who was mentioned in passing in Solo. Number 7. Where's Boba Fett? Boba Fett, the bounty hunter, who is one of my favourite characters in the Star Wars universe, is well known for being affiliated with Jabba the Hutt. So if the next film in the Solo series is based around Jabba, we may get to see a bit more of him. Disney have also hinted about there being a standalone Boba Fett film, which would be awesome. I'm just surprised that this fan favourite didn't have a cameo, as there's such a big rivalry between Solo and Fett. Number 8. How did Maul survive? This is where it gets interesting. After Darth Maul was sliced in two by Obi-Wan on Naboo, he was dumped on Lotho Minor, where he somehow managed to cling to life, and through feeding on vermin and sheer stubbornness, he kept himself alive long enough to build some sweet mechanical spider legs. Eventually, he teamed up with his brother, Savage Opress, who gave him some more practical cybernetic legs, which some eagle-eyed viewers will have spotted during the hologram scene featuring Maul in Solo. He then went on to form the Shadow Collective. All this activity attracted the attention of none other than Darth Sidious, who took Maul captive, only for the Sith Lord's former apprentice to escape and flee into the night. Since Solo takes place some years after these events, it's highly likely that Maul fled back to the Shadow Collective to take his place as the head of the 5 syndicates in order to regain some power. Number 9. What are possible links to other standalone films? One link I mentioned already was the one with Boba Fett, where we may see Solo go to Tatooine. Another one would be through Maul, who we see briefly as a hologram. It's clear to me that he's going to be involved in some way, so we may see him play a big part in the Obi-Wan film that Disney has hinted at. The Zabrak from Dathomir is once again played by Ray Park and voiced by Sam Witwer, and I for one can't wait to see more acrobatic lightsaber action. The other obvious link would be a Lando spin-off, which would be a real treat. Number 10. What will a sequel look like? The stage has been set for a whole load of stuff to happen. We will probably meet the other crime syndicates, as we have only met one so far, and we are likely to see a bit more of Maul, unless they keep that for one of the other standalone films. I personally would love to see the majority of the film centred around Han and Chewie tangling with the crime syndicates, especially Jabba's organisation, which would also mean we would get to see some Boba Fett! Enfys Nest and her allies are likely to make another appearance, But I doubt Han will jump into bed with the Alliance so soon, especially as he's still working for Jabba when we meet him in A New Hope. Then, of course, we have Lando. Donald Glover is quickly becoming another fan favourite as the smooth gambler, and has already expressed an interest in being involved further. As it was so difficult to fit all our thoughts into 10 questions, we have included a bonus one. Number 11. Why did the Millennium Falcon look different? Now this is something we have all been asking ourselves in the run-up to the film. We know that when Lando owns the Falcon, it's a newer ship than what we see in the original trilogy, which has had some upgrades. There are several differences to the ship we have come to know and love, most noticeably the up-pointing radar dish, single turret gun, blue colour scheme, and a filled-in nose. You may have missed it, but Lando mentions that he has installed an escape pod, but doesn't say where it is. And there is a split second in the Maelstrom when Han jettisons the pod to try and help them escape, thus returning it to the shape that we have known for decades. So that concludes our Solo, A Star Wars Story roundup. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as I said at the start, add your own theories or expand on ours in the comments below. May the Force be with you. See you next time!
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!